Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's webinar on implementing next generation mobile app strategies with Seqrite MDM. The presenters for today's webinar are going to be Rucha and Praveen, both from the quality assurance team at the Seqrite Mobile Device Management Department. Rucha has 2+ years of experience in the field of information technology across quality assurance. In her current experience, she is extensively involved in various aspects of performance, security, usability of cloud and mobile platforms. She's also passionate about learning new things on the internet and implementing them at the workplace. Praveen has 2 years of experience in the information technology field in the quality assurance. In his current experience, he is also involved with the various aspects of quality assurance, which includes the performance, security, and usability of cloud as well as the mobile technology platforms. He is also passionate about the upcoming things in the technology world. Let me set a few ground rules for today's webinar. This webinar would be recorded and a link for it would be shared with you. This webinar would be hosted on our YouTube channel, and the link to the presentation would be sent to you in a follow-up emails sent later today or tomorrow. In case you have any questions, please make a note of the slide number, and you can send your questions to us via the chat window. If you have any questions after we finish this webinar, you can definitely reach us at support@seqrite.com, and we will be more than happy to help you with any questions you have about this webinar. Without adding to any further ado, I will now hand over the mic to Rucha to take the proceedings of today's webinar.
Thank you, Nikhil. Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to all the attendees of the webinar. My name is Rucha, and I'm going to present today's webinar, Implementing Next Generation Mobile App Strategies with Seqrite MDM with my colleague Praveen. Let's have a look over the agenda of the webinar. Introduction to mobile device management, the importance of mobile devices in our day-to-day life, today's enterprise scenario, that is the impact of mobile devices on corporate world, what's there in the news, why there is a need for enterprise mobility management, how Seqrite mobile device management can handle it, and the last one is question and answer session. So let me show you statistics by Flurry Analytics. It says mobile use has been grown by 76% over a year. Let's take a detailed look over all the numbers. The lifestyle and shopping category has grown by 174%. Isn't that surprising? Another one says utilities and productivity by 121%, messaging and social app by 103%, health and fitness by 89%, which is equivalent to travel category. Next to travel is sports, which has grown by 74%, news and magazines by 49%, music, media and entertainment by 33%, and games by 30%. Well, to summarize the numbers, mobile device usage has grown drastically over the years, and ultimately impact has also increased on our day-to-day lives. Let's move to the next part, which is a survey. It says 58% of smartphone users don't go an hour without checking their phones. Quite surprising, huh? Now shall we observe the age group wise statistics? For age of 18 to 34, it's 68%. Well, quite an obvious thing to observe, huh? Most of all youngsters to see, you can observe. For age group of 35 to 44, it's 61%. For 45 to 54, it's 55. And for 55 and above, it's 36%. To conclude these numbers, the usage of age group of corporate and impact of smartphones is really very huge. Moving on to the next part, the impact of apps on corporate world. Overusing of mobile data or Wi-Fi given by the company results into paying extra bills for the employees. The productivity is also hampered at the workplace due to use of social media and entertainment apps. Many a times it is observed that people watching videos at office, which reduces bandwidth of internet connection, even for the employees who are not misusing the data. Ultimate result of using these kinds of apps at workplace is delay in meeting deadlines and outcome is revenue loss. Uh, Now we have a statistics by Mashable. It says that 1 in 5 Americans cannot access Facebook at workplace. Isn't that surprising? Let's analyze the statistics. Facebook is blocked at 19.4% people. The Twitter is blocked for 15.1%, YouTube for 13.7, Pinterest for 11.2, and the rest like LinkedIn, Gmail, Yahoo, and other social media is for 10.9%. Now, I would like to have an opinion poll for all of you. It says what percentage of productivity gets hampered due to usage of mobile application during the business hours. So please guys start the opinion poll by giving out your votes. We have heard of people saying productivity gets hampered due to usage of mobile apps. Also, the bandwidth is affected if using organizations' mobile data or Wi-Fi. So, do you really think productivity is affected? And if yes, then the employee should really be restricted for this, such thing during business hours? We have getting an interesting data over here. I can analyze that 37% of people have vote for 50% of productivity gets hampered. Also 23% have voted for 70% of the productivity gets hampered. Less of a number is observed in 10% productivity get hampered. That is 11% of vote has been given for the 10 percentage criteria. So overall, I can say that 50% of productivity gets hampered. 41% people think that. Moving on to our next part. Now let's have a look over the news section. Indian Army asked their personnel to not to use Xiaomi phones. Shocking, isn't it? But why? The reason being Xiaomi devices tracks the locations of the devices, and the Indian Army believes these devices could transfer data to their servers in China, which is a big security risk. So how Seqrite can be helpful in this scenario is it can directly see the enrolled devices from server of mobile device management and ask the employees to not to use the Xiaomi phones. The next is very big scam of Minecraft. Let's take a quick glance over what really happened in this scam. Fake apps that look like add-ons for Android versions of the Microsoft own game were downloaded by up to 2.8 million people. These add-ons contain malicious code and were designed to pull the cache. The add-ons flashed on some of the devices saying, "Your phone has a virus attack. Please download an antivirus." On tapping the screen, it led to bogus subscription of antivirus. Isn't that shocking for every one of you? Moving on to the next news is a cyber attack on the company RSA. What happened at RSA? There was an email circulated by company HR having a link. Clicking on that link, it led to malware attack. Later it came to know that the mail was from hackers instead of the HR. Huge loss of money occurred through this scam. Moving on, compromising sensitive data. Sharing industry secrets over social media apps may raise a big question on confidentiality clause of the company. At one of my friend's workplace, they used to raise tickets offline on social messaging app, which is really a big issue of concern. The backdoor entries to vulnerabilities may lead to data loss and ultimately the revenue loss. At many times, it is observed in IT industry that there is breach in network security or compromise in VPN, which has led organization in paying high cost. So here's presenting one key solution to all such problems: Seqrite mobile device management, the leading feature of which is an app monitoring and control. Let's have a glance over the features, how they can be solution to all the problems stated above. The very first is app monitoring. In Seqrite, we have Global App Repository. Global App Repository shows all the apps of the enrolled devices. So admin can monitor all the apps and have the centralized control over the devices. The next one is app control. App control consists of recommended apps, block access to apps in full or partial way, block app categories, and uninstall apps from server. In recommended apps, admin can recommend the apps which are useful to devices and those apps which will be directly published on the devices in recommended app section. Suppose a company wants their employees to use the app which is created for internal use only. So in this case, what admin can do is publish this APK internally on all the devices. In block app feature, admin can do it in two ways. First is full block, which will block the access of blocked app fully, and other way is partial block. In this, admin can block the app for specified time. Say for example, admin can block it in office hours on weekdays or working days and allow the access on weekends or holidays. And yes, this may solve the problem of decrease in productivity. Coming to the next feature is block categories. In this, admin can block a particular category of apps. For example, he can block adult sites, or even say we can block categories by creating groups of people department wise, which means social networking blocked for finance people or job portal open to HR people and blocked for the rest of the groups. Well, this looks like a simplified solution, isn't it? Also, what happened with the Minecraft app can be prevented with this feature. We can block the gaming or unknown category wise blocking. The last one is uninstall app. In uninstall app, admin can directly send uninstall from server for the apps which are really dangerous for the company in terms of security, and those apps will be published on the device in uninstall list. The next feature is launcher. Seqrite launcher is highly restricted environment for using apps. Let's take an example of transport service company which has provided multiple smartphones to all the drivers. The company wants that all employed should use the devices for running their apps only. So in this case, they can have launcher installed on the devices and restrict the use of other apps on the smartphones. The last one is antivirus for keeping the devices virus free. To relate with the news, we can prevent all the devices from what happened with RSA. That is the big malware attack. So to summarize, this is why security is essential for enterprise mobility management. The next part will be explained by Praveen. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Praveen here, and I am associated with Seqrite Mobile Device Management since 2 years. So I'll be continuing the rest of the webinar. So let me start with an overview of what is Seqrite Mobile Device Management. So the basic idea of Seqrite mobile device management is to ensure the employees stay productive and do not breach corporate policies. This can be done by certain set of policies like restricting user to use of camera, Bluetooth, or forcing users to set password on the device, and so on. We can also manage the device by applying configurations like web security, which can restrict the users by uh, by not allowing them to browse through any kind of websites. He can also map an anti-theft configurations, which, uh, as the name suggests, will be helpful in case of device theft or loss of device, and so on. Seqrite mobile device management also consists of antivirus, where our application on the device will detect any kind of threats and report the same to the admin. If the threat is of higher risk, then the application will take action on its own accordingly. With Seqrite mobile device management, we can monitor the network data usage of all the enrolled devices. This will include in detail network usage of all the applications on that devices as well. The most important of them all would be the app control, by which we can monitor and control the applications on the device. So, how can we do it? We'll explain you in detail and in henceforth upcoming slides. Let us first start with app monitoring. So, in app monitoring, we are giving centralized control to the admin of the applications of all the devices. Admin can view all the applications which are currently installed in this in his enterprises device, so that he can take the required action against any application or device if required. Admin will also be able to manage the devices individually as well. He can block or recommend or uninstall any application on an individual level as well. Admin can view the top installed applications in the enterprises, and all of which all applications are consuming more network data. As displayed in the screenshot, we have the list of top network usage apps as well as top install applications in the organization. As for app control, as described by Rucha at first, we have few features which are namely as recommendation of applications, uh, uninstallation of application, and blocking of application. Let's first start with the recommendation of application. The first thing is this feature, the admin can recommend or ask the user to install an application on his device that can be any particular application which can be beneficial for the individual and the enterprises as well. For example, suppose an organization wants its user to communicate among themselves in a secure manner by using a customized messaging application or a file sharing application which is made for the organization only. So the admin just have to upload that application on the Seqrite MDM server and recommend the same to its employee. The biggest advantage of control can be stated by the use of block access to application which the admin finds unproductive. In this, we can categorize the application as to on which basis the application is to be blocked. Like if the admin wants to fully block the application or to partially block the application. In full block of application, admin can completely block an application so that user may not use the application. In case of partial block, the admin can block an application for a particular time interval. For example, if the admin wants to block an social networking application for a working hour only, then he can select the particular time interval and also can select excluding days or time to block that application. Admin can also block installation of new apps. Here, if the admin does not want the user to install any new application on the device, then he can do so by just selecting that device and marking it as uh, block newly installed apps. The application can also be blocked on the basis of categories. So if we want that a particular group of employees should be restricted to use of a particular categories applications, then he can create an app control configuration with that category selected and apply the configuration to that department group. For example, if the admin wants to block social networking application for research department and allow the same for the marketing team, then he can create two set of configuration and apply them to the respective department group. Let's have a look of the case study which we have observed. There was an educational organization which had distributed tablet mobile devices among its students for the educational purpose. In the devices, they had provided their study materials and applications for the same. The organization was also providing data usage plans on the same devices for the betterment of the students to browse through net or to learn new things from the internet. But the students were using the tablet to browse through video streaming, websites, or downloading of applications or unnecessary data. After this Seqrite mobile device management was installed on the device, then the user or the student were restricted to use of only the particular application only which was provided by the organization. Now, let's have a quick glance at how easy it is to carry out the efficient app control with the help of Seqrite mobile device management. So I'll be demonstrating you how we can do app control through our Seqrite mobile device management. So I'll just log in into our MDM mobile device management portal as an admin. So as you can see, this is a dashboard of the Seqrite mobile device management in which we are displaying the top network usage applications, top install applications as well. So in this way, the admin who is able to log into our web portal can easily recognize which all applications are using the highest network data usage and which all applications are mostly installed uh, into their enterprises. So over here, as you can see, the top network usage apps are Google Play Store, UC browser, WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook. So henceforth, the listed applications are using the highest data in that enterprises. The respective top install applications also has a list of applications which are installed on the devices present in the enterprise. We can also see the top network usage devices, the name of the devices on which the network data usage is on a highest level. You can also view the graph by which the network data usage was during the month. So today is 16 December. So accordingly, it is showing as 0.10 GB of data was used in this enterprises, while henceforth the yesterday was the 15 December, that was 0.11 GB of data was used. So uh, let us now demonstrate you how easy it is to block or recommend or uninstall any kind of applications which the admin doesn't want. So I'll just go into the detail of a demo device over here. I'll just select the app inventory of that device. So over here, 296 applications are installed on the device, in which, as you can see in the network usage of December 16th, you can view all the details of applications which are using the network data. Let's categorize it according to the data usage. So over here, Google Play Store is the application which is using the most data. So if the admin wants to block that application, so he can do it in a few simple ways. He just have to go into the app inventory of the device and just search for Google Play Store, and he just have to select that application and block it and submit it. So now this application is been sent block command to the device. Let's see the what happens to the device. So for example, this is a device to which the application is sent as block. So I'll just go to its home screen and launch Play Store. So this is the block screen which would be displayed if the user tries to access that application. So henceforth, it's upon the user's admin's perspective to which applications are to be marked as block, uninstall, and or anything. For example, if I want Opera Mini to be marked as uninstall, so I'll just select uninstall and send the same thing to the device, and it would be successfully sent to the device. So this is how the admin can directly know what all applications are installed on the device and which all applications are using the highest number of data, or which all applications are also in a threat. So he can directly go into the scan report of the device and view the report of the infected applications which are installed on the device. So over here, test virus is the infected virus application present on the device. So if at all the admin wants that applications to be uninstalled from the device, then he just have to search for that application and select it as uninstall and send it to the device. So this would be it. The admin has to just follow few steps and that application would be blocked or uninstalled from the application. Now let's see how the admin can recommend any applications to any of the devices or users present in his enterprises. Let's take an example. We recommend an application from Google Play Store. So I'll just select a pop-up over here which displays add an app from Google Play Store. So I'll go into my browser and select play.google. So suppose we want to recommend any application. For example, Fontastic is an great applications which we can recommend to any of the users of in the company. So I'll just go to that application, copy its URL, and just paste it over here and add it. So now this application would be recommended to this particular device to get installed uh, on the device. So this is how easy it is. So this can be helpful if the admin wants any applications to be particularly installed on any kind of device. So let's go back to our presentation. So this was it about Seqrite MDM. So as you would have seen, it's quite simple for any admin to recommend, block, or uninstall any kind of application. Now let's talk about upcoming features in Seqrite mobile device management. So we have a great feature coming henceforth is geofencing. Now, as the name suggests itself, geofencing is we can restrict any device by applying policies or configuration according to the geographical location of the device. Like if you have your office in certain area, then you want any kind of policies or configuration apply in that region only. So you can just map geofencing configuration to that device, and the policies and configuration will get triggered as soon as the device comes into that fencing zone. The same as Wi-Fi fencing. Wi-Fi fencing is uh, the as geofencing I said before. Wi-Fi fencing would be according to the SSID, that is the Wi-Fi name to which it is getting connected. If at all you mentioned a Wi-Fi ID, then when as soon as the device gets connected to that Wi-Fi ID, the particular restriction, namely as policies or configuration, will get directly mapped to that device, and the device will be compliance for your enterprise. The next thing is the time fencing. So as the name suggests, it is regarding the time boundation. The policies or configuration will get applied to the device according to the time interval which you have provided from the server by the admin. So probably you want your users to use their device at home, but you want to restrict that devices in the working hours. So you just need to apply a time fencing uh, a configuration to that device and restrict it accordingly. So that was it from my side. I'll now hand it over to Nikhil for rest of the presentation.
Wow. Thank you, Praveen. This session was indeed insightful. I hope all of us have understood what these small devices would impact businesses at large in terms of productivity and in terms of security of the data, since everyone today in the corporate world uses mobile devices, may it be your smartphones, may it be your tablets or your iPads, and security of the data inside that, because that has corporate data, needs to be upfront, needs to be the priority number one at all time. As I said before, in case you have any questions about today's webinar, questions for Praveen or for Rucha, after we finish this webinar, you can write to us at support@seqrite.com. For all the questions that you have right now, you can type it in the chat window, and we will do our best to answer the questions now. In case you want to follow us on Facebook, you can do it at facebook.com/securite. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it is twitter.com/Seqrite. The Google Plus URL is a bit.ly URL here. It is bit.ly/Seqrite Google Plus. Our LinkedIn URL is linkedin.com/company/Seqrite, and as advised before, the YouTube video would be hosted on a YouTube channel. It would be bit.ly/Seqrite YouTube. To know more about our website, you can visit us at seqrite.com. Now we would begin with the question and answer session. Okay, let's start getting questions. Uh, I think we have a question about for Praveen about what is the difference between complete blocking of applications and partial blocking of applications. Praveen, if you could please help me explain.
Yeah, sure. Actually, as I said before also, complete blocking of any application is like there is an application you don't want the user to use in any time zone. That is, you don't want him to use at home or at office hours as well. So you can completely block that application. In case of full partial block, what we can do is we can just state a time bounding for an application to be blocked. Like there is a social networking application which the admin don't want the user to use during the office hour. So he can directly give a particular office hour timing range. That is, if the office hours is between 9 to 6, then he can just state that 9 from 9 to 6 the application will be blocked, and excluding that, the rest of the time the application won't be blocked. So for example, the application is to be used on maybe weekends, then he can mention that excluding days as well, and the user can use that application during weekends as well.
Okay, we have another interesting question. Uh, so, is this Seqrite mobile device management applicable for devices other than the Android operating systems like the iOS or Microsoft Windows? Praveen, could you please answer this?
Yeah, Nikhil. Actually, we are supporting Apple iOS and as well as Windows devices in our MDM. So what we do is we have our particular APIs, or we have our mappings through that OSs, and we provide the same thing in other platform as well.
Okay. Uh, we have another question about locating the device through the mobile device management application. We have a question if it is possible to locate a device using the Seqrite MDM. Rucha, if you could help answer this question.
Yeah, Nikhil. We have a provision to track the location, and in that also we have two ways to track it. One is the continuous trace, and another is just to locate the device. So the answer of the question is yes.
Okay. Uh, We have another question. In case we are using applications from the Google official app store, that is the Google Play for businesses, uh, do we have provisions for the device management from this? So I think this question is more related to the commercial aspect of it. Deepak, for all of your questions relating to commercial, please write us at support@seqrite.com, and we will have somebody from the sales team connect with you if you are the IT administrator or the IT decision maker for your organization. Then we can definitely have someone help you in that regard. We have another interesting question here. Uh, is it possible for us to get reports of any data or information transfer through the device? I think Praveen can help us answer this question.
Actually, what we do is overhead devices, all the information related to the devices get populated to the servers. So whenever the device gets enrolled, all the data or details about the devices would be displayed to the overview or the detail page of the device. So we don't actually manage the transfer of data, but what we do is we certainly have the details about the applications installed on the devices. So if at all an organization does not want any application or any such kind of application which use the transferring of data or anything, so he can directly block that application or mark it as uninstalled.
We have another interesting question here. I think we've already answered it, but we'll still ask Praveen to answer this question. Does this software, mobile device management technology, support Android tablets?
Yeah, we do certainly support tablets as well, because mostly in nowadays the enterprises are distributing tablets devices to their employees. So if at all we are not doing it, that we are lacking somewhere behind. But we are doing it, and our application is in full support to tablet devices as well as the mobile devices and all platform OSs. We support everything from A to Z.
Okay, that was a brilliant answer. Uh, okay, we have another interesting question. Uh, how can we manage apps through the device's app inventory tab. I think this was regarding the demonstration that you gave in the app inventory. If you could please help answer this.
Yeah, sure. Actually, as I demonstrated it before, what any admin can do is he can view that application into the app inventory of the device, and he can just select that application and mark it as blocked, uninstalled, or if at all it is previously blocked or uninstalled, he can whitelist that applications from there itself. So, for example, there is a manager into your company, and you have and configuration map to all the devices that every application is blocked, or maybe the social networking is blocked. So what you can do is you can directly give him individual access to that particular application, or that certain kind of categories do you want that manager or higher level of person to use the things.
We have another question from one of our attendees. Uh, the question is, can we wipe out data clean from any mobile device using the Seqrite MDM technology?
Yeah, so we do support wiping out of data from the devices. So for Android devices, what we do is we generally keep the applications installed, and rest of all the data like calendar details or contacts, messages, or any images, sound, videos, we can delete it from the server by the admin. So if at all you have your company devices with you, and there are sensitive data with it, and that device gets lost. So what can the admin do? He just have to send a wipe command to that device, and all the sensitive data will be wiped out from the device, and the admin can be assured of that device that their data aren't lost to anybody else.
We have another interesting question from one of our attendees, Mr. Singh, who would like to know if we could monitor the admin panel for the Seqrite MDM outside the office. So I think he's talking about technical managers or your IT or the CIOs or CFOs who would like to access the panel outside the office. If you could help answer this, Praveen.
Actually, the admin panel is actually can be accessed from anywhere around the world. So what he has to do is he just have to click to, yeah, it's a cloud technology. So he just have to use the URL from anywhere in the world and can access it by using his credentials. For example, username and password, and he can directly access it and view everything what all is going on. So maybe he will be on a vacation. So he still wants to know what is going on through the MDM. So he just have to log in and just view the details and just log it out. That simple it is.
That's as simple as it could get. Uh, Let me see if we have more questions. We definitely have more questions here. Okay, so we have a question here where if the user of the device is not within the office location but is on a remote location, so is it possible for us to restrict some apps and provide to the rest of the apps doing the cloud? So how does it get affected or implemented is the question. Praveen, if you could help answer this question.
Yeah, sure. Actually, the basic requirement for our mobile device management is the device should be connected to internet. It may be via Wi-Fi or through mobile network. So, if at all the device is connected with the mobile network, then as soon as the admin wants to block any kind of application, or can carry out any kind of activity that, like he wants to block the application or just recommend him anything. So the if device is active, then that command will get sent to the device and will be executed as easily as it sounds.
I think this is one of the very important questions here. What is the upper limit to the number of devices that can be managed through this technology? the answer should be there's no limit.
Yeah, and as you said, there is no limit for it. So we can enroll any number of devices, and we can manage it through our portal um, based on the license or the product key for which you have purchased it.
So what needs to be done is, depending on the size of your organization, you need to buy the number of licenses for the number of devices that needs to be managed through the portal.
Yeah, that's it. So if at all you're having 1,000 employees in your organization, you just need to buy a license key of for 1,000 devices. So that's it. You can manage the 1,000 devices from our portal.
Okay, we have another important question here. How exactly does the recommended apps feature benefit organizations? I think it's an important one.
Yeah, actually, what this is, we had a case study where the one of our client wanted an applications to be circulated among their organization only. So, for example, they wanted application which can communicate between their employees, like for chatting purpose or file sharing. So they don't want that application to be marketed out or kept at a third party server. So what they can do is they can just directly upload an applications into our server and recommend it or broadcast it to any number of devices or all the devices present in their enterprises. So that will be installed on their devices, and henceforth they can communicate within themselves securely. So this is a kind of secured manner to communicate within the organization.
I think, yeah, definitely the security of your uh, data in your organization is utmost important. So nobody would like to place this secure information or vital business information in third parties. So yeah, definitely there is a need where you can have a secure transfer of data amongst users. Okay, moving on to the next question. Do we require internet throughout blocking of apps in the client devices is a question.
Yeah, actually, for blocking of any applications, we require internet. But if at all you find any, you feel like there's a device that isn't in a compliance mode, that is, it's restricting your policy. So what you can do is you can directly send in command to block that device through your SMS. So the device gets blocked, and he has to switch on his internet or some. As soon as the device gets blocked, we automatically make that device internet or data network on in the background, and then the device will be online to us, and we can send any kind of command to that device.
Well said. Uh, we have an interesting question here, although. So the question is, what is your opinion about the Truecaller app? Is it a fake, or it may just steal your data? I think we would just restrict our questions to the Seqrite MDM here. We would not opinion ourselves on third-party apps like Truecaller. We'll just restrict ourselves on Seqrite MDM. Moving on to the next one. What is the use of app repository? I think we have covered this topic several times, but still, Praveen, if you could help answer this question.
In Seqrite mobile device management, we have two things. That is, one is global app repository, and the one is app inventory, which is a individual level app repository. So, if at all the admin wants to know what all applications are installed on the devices of its enterprises or organization, he can directly go into the repository of our application and can view the applications, and he can get a statistic about how which all applications are installed and on how many devices they are installed. So if at all he finds like there is an application which is prevalent among the users of its organization, so and he wants it to be blocked, then he can block it from there itself. Or else, if you feel like okay, the employees are finding this application quite useful, so he can directly recommend that application to other users as well who hasn't installed that application. So this helps a lot in among the organizations to communicate within the organization and to keep a consistency between the applications or usage and monitor that applications data usage.
Well, thank you for this one, Praveen. I think we have another question from our attendees, and the question is, if one of the devices does not have a working data plan, then is it possible to block it? I think we already have covered this. You can do it by sending an SMS to the device and then block the application. So yes, this is possible. To know more about it, you can write to us at support@seqrite.com, and somebody from our technical team will help you get a detailed understanding of how this technology works, and possibly can help you set up a demo at your organization. Okay, moving on to the next question. Do we have a report, or can we get a report from the Seqrite MDM, wherein we can find information of what time or how much of time was spent on every app, and what is the data that is used by a particular app. I think, Praveen, we've already covered this. Number of amount of data that is used by every app can definitely be monitored, because that is more important for every enterprise, every organization, because it's a resource that is being used. But number of times the app was used was not really important. I mean, it doesn't really affect the uh, the IT managers for the use of app, because if the app is not supposed to be used, then an IT manager can definitely block it. Okay, I think we have covered almost all questions for today's session here. In case you have more questions, as I've said before, you can write to us at support@seqrite.com. Now conclude this session. Thank you very much for joining us for today's session. Thank you, Rucha, and thank you, Praveen. And you have a great day ahead. Thank you. Bye.